name is Judith. I'm a supervisor here in the herpetology department, and I would like to welcome you to your new favorite episode of Houston Zoo's Facebook Live series. Today we're going to hang out with Boga, who is our 12-year-old Komodo Dragon. He will be eating a pig today, so just a little warning, it's a whole pig, so it could get a little messy, and some people might not want to watch that, but it's natural and he's going to very much enjoy this. So we have our pig already right here, all USDA inspected. So I'm here with Rachel. We're going to have a little shield here just for safety. We have a two-person role for our Komodo Dragons. So my boss is going to kind of hang out in the background as well and watch. And we're going to keep Rachel safe while she films all this. And Boga's going to have some fun. If we want to maybe stand right there for 1 sec. Okay, Stan? Okay. Release the dragon. So, I got this. Coming out?
Not yet.
Lean your arm on that. Boga, hey, you're looking in the wrong place. Boga. Alright, sorry for the slow start, but he's coming out now. There we go. He hasn't had one of these in quite a while, so he's going to check it out for a second. But he's had a really good appetite lately with the warmer weather. We feed them all kind of different things here at the zoo. Rabbits, rats, quail, chicks, eggs. But every so often we like to give them something more substantial like this. Maybe he's confused. I think he's only ever had a pig one other time. But in the wild, Komodo dragons have an incredibly varied diet as well. They're not super picky. They'll eat pretty much anything they can catch. So when they're adults, they're taking down deer, wild boar, even occasionally a water buffalo. You might have seen that on television. So every once in a while here, they get a pig or a goat or something like that. And this is it's more of a natural thing for a large adult dragon, because it's more like they would be doing in the wild. And as you're going to see, he's going to be getting a lot of neck exercise, using those muscles and his jaws, and actually having to work for his food instead of swallowing bite-sized rats or something. And this is pretty cool too, because if we see close, you can actually see teeth marks in the skin of a pig, which is pretty rough, or tough to get through anyway. You don't really see Komodo dragon teeth, so it's a little deceptive. They've got about 60 teeth, and they're very sharp and serrated like a steak knife. But they're mostly covered up by the gums, so even if you look at a Komodo dragon with its mouth wide open, you're not really going to see much of the teeth. It's like an iceberg. You're only seeing the little tip of it. And there's a lot more underneath hidden in the gums. You might eventually see a little bit of blood here, because the teeth are rubbing against the gums and stuff like that. Hopefully, and occasionally they'll have teeth fall out too, because this is a workout for their mouth and their teeth, so sometimes you'll find teeth. And they do replace their teeth throughout their lives. They don't just get, two sets like us or like sharks. They're just continuously making more teeth. So they fall out and a new tooth moves into place.
Are Komodo dragons related to anything, Judith?
Komodo dragons are the biggest lizard. Look at that big bubble. They are a type of monitor lizard, and there are a lot of different species of monitor lizard. But Komodo dragons are the biggest and I think the coolest, although my boss might argue with me. So yeah, they're in a family of a bunch of lizards, and they are one of that family. But they're a lizard like any other lizard, and then they are in the monitor lizard family. Land water monitors get get almost as big. So Boga's 12 years old. He's gonna turn 13 on August the 24th. He has been here at the Houston Zoo since he was 6 months old. He was hatched at the San Antonio Zoo, where his mother was having a visit there with the male at San Antonio. And there were some babies produced from that. And we got 4 babies. So we originally got 4 six-month-old dragons here, which was a lot of fun. But unfortunately, we don't have the space to keep that many dragons, so we kept one. And that's Boga. Some of you might remember Smog, the big guy that used to live here. He was great, and he was Boga's uncle. So we still have the family here. So he's not a real big dragon. You know, Smog was like 200 pounds, and he was a really big dragon. But that's kind of extreme. Most of them don't get that big. Boga's about 100 pounds, and he's probably about an average size male. Females don't get as big. They'll be like, 40 to 60, maybe 70 pounds for a girl. So there's a definite size difference. When they're little, you can't tell the difference at all. But if you see a really huge dragon, then you can bet that that's a boy dragon. Besides that, there's really no difference. They live in Indonesia, in what's called the Lesser Sunda Islands. There are 5 islands over there where they're found in the wild. Several of which are within Komodo National Park, but not all of them. Their size varies. Like 2 of the islands are really small, and the dragons there are lower populations, of course, but the dragons themselves are also a little smaller.
So what does his daily diet usually consist of, Judith?
It is a lot of rabbits and rats. Like once a week, you'll get a rabbit or maybe 5 or 6 rats. Sometimes we get eggs or chicks to mix it up. One super fun thing is that our ostriches here at the zoo lay infertile eggs. So sometimes he'll get an infertile ostrich egg to play with, and that's pretty fun to watch because those things are tough. So it takes him a little while to bust it open, but very happy when he does. And then they're trying to just, get all the yolk that they can. But can you see the skin of the pig? How shredded it is? As I was saying, you can't see his teeth like this, but you can definitely see the result of what they can do.
So how often a year does he receive a pig?
We try to do it every few months. Again, because it's good for him and it keeps him busy and gives him something to do and get a little exercise. We also do it for other events like our annual Feast with the Beasts and enrichment days. Any special occasions, but if we don't have a special occasion, we'll do it every few months. Their jaws are not as strong as you would think. There have been some studies done and some comparisons, and I don't have any figures in my head, but they really don't have super strong jaws compared to comparable sized animals. But they've got some serious teeth that can cause a lot of damage.
How long is his tongue, Judith?
It's about a foot. I haven't really measured his tongue, but they're at least 10 inches. That's a heck of a tongue. And if you look at that tongue, you can see that it's forked, just like snakes. So most lizards have some semblance of a fork in their tongue. It varies a lot. But something about monitor lizards, oh, look at that. Their tongues are extremely forked, just like a snake. And they're not really used for food manipulations, as it would be like with iguanas and leaf eaters and things like that. It's purely a chemosensory organ, just like snakes. So they have that Jacobson's organ in the roof of their mouth, where they can pick up little particles from the air, kind of analyze them, and even find the direction of a scent. They are classified as endangered. There's probably maybe 4,000. And like I said, some of the islands, but not all of them where they live, are within Komodo National Park where they're protected. But it's loss of habitat, like most things. Also the poaching of their prey items, because folks will go, over to the islands where they live and get the deer and stuff, which is their main diet.
What's your favorite thing about working with Komodo dragons, Judith?
They are smart. You know, when we first got them, I was excited, but I had no idea how cool it was going to be, because they know you, and I love all reptiles. I love them all, but they don't all know you. But something about Komodo dragons and monitors in general, and you'll hear this from any zookeeper who takes care of them, that they get to know you and they'll actually recognize you. I can go on the other side of the glass and he hasn't seen me for hours and he will recognize me through the glass, even in different clothes or something. They pick up on stuff really fast. They see in color, so you can train them and get them to associate a color with a certain thing, and it does not take long at all. You can target train them like mammals, you know. It a few times and they know. They'll see that and like, oh, I'm gonna get something. I should go over there to where that lady's holding that thing. So, and they have personality, a lot of personality. So again, if you're just joining us, this is Boga. He's a 12-year-old Komodo dragon here at the zoo. He's been here since he was 6 months old, and he's having fun with a pig today. They are potentially dangerous. That's a big animal. I mentioned he's got lots of sharp teeth. They also use their tail as defense. So if you get whacked with that tail, you're definitely going to feel it. But we have a 2-person policy, so 2 herpetology zookeepers can go in, but never alone. We do keep a shield. We take a shield with us in case we need to put something between us and the animal. And, you know, a big snake hook too, in case we need to maybe nudge somebody out of the way that's getting a little too close to us. But Komodo dragons are also really laid back for the most part. And they have individual personalities just like anything else. Some people are nicer than others. But usually they're really laid back, and then they get to know you and you actually have a relationship with them. You know, maybe not quite like a dog, but it's similar. He's a sweetheart. You know, we can, he had a little bath right before he came out today because he was dusty. We can cut their nails and lift up their tail and examine them really well and do a lot of things hands-on instead of having to try to anesthetize them first. You know, the vets can even come in and draw blood. So yeah, they're really fun. They have a lot of personality. They get to know you. They learn things. They pick up on visual cues, audio cues. Their hearing is actually pretty good. You know, it's not like us, but you can make a noise in a big empty room and you'll see them react to it and lift up their head and look over. So he'll probably work on this for a good hour. What he usually does is he'll work on it for about an hour, and then he'll like go over there and take a little break, and then a little while later he'll come back to it and see if there's anything else he wants. And then after this, he's gonna look a little different. He's gonna be a big boy. They can really pack it in, and we probably won't feed him for 2 weeks after this because this is a huge meal. And but that also is natural. You know, small meals every day usually isn't natural for a lot of reptiles. You know, some things sure, little small active lizards, but snakes and big lizards like this, sometimes their meals are few and far between. So if they get something really big like this, that will last them quite a while. I didn't give him much for the past week because I knew he was getting this today. We do have one other Komodo dragon here at the zoo, a little phoenix, who's inside the building, who's about to turn 6 years old. He was also hatched at the San Antonio Zoo.
How long does it take for them to become fully grown?
Probably 4 or 5 years. You know, but they keep growing. It slows way down, but they'll continue to grow, and it kind of depends on how much food they get when they're young. That'll determine size. But again, and boys get much bigger than girls, and some animals are huge and some aren't, you know. His Uncle Smog was a lot bigger than this at the same age. And I think Boga's just going to be about an average-sized male Komodo dragon.
Do Komodo dragons have any natural predators in the wild?
Yeah, when they hatch, they're pretty small. They're about a foot long and 100 grams. They're just little guys. So they're food for anything that is able to catch them or has an interest in eating them. They spend a lot of time up in bushes and trees when they're little just because it's safer. Any bird or snake or even other Komodo dragons, they could be preyed upon when they're little guys. So they try to stay up off the ground until they get a little too big. And then once they get too big to climb, then they have way less predators because not too much there besides people are gonna mess with a lizard this size. They're the biggest predator where they live.
Can you take us a little closer, Judith, with the camera?
Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, he's getting there. But you can see how that skin is just shredded by those teeth. I wonder if we can get a peek at a tooth. Maybe not.
How many teeth do they have, Judith?
They're about 60, and they're up to like max half an inch long, but they're very sharp. They do their job really well. Whoop. Sometimes he'll take it and drag it off somewhere, but. Oops. And sometimes he'll look around and pick a new spot. Ooh, I wonder if you could even hear him breathing like
I
that.
think we might be dropping the connection a little bit,
Oh,
Judith,
sorry.
so I'm gonna
All right.
take it back here.
I think we're almost out of time, but Boga's going to work on this for a while yet. Like I said, he'll probably take a break, and we'll leave it in there probably until staff leaves for the day, just so the ants don't get at it tonight and stuff. But they'll have a lot of fun, and for the next few days, he's not going to want to move at all. He's just going to kind of lay there like a lump and concentrate on digestion. So, I think that's about it. We're still working hard taking care of everybody here. There's an emergency zoo fund. If you could look into that and possibly donate to that. Thank you very much for joining us today. I love Boga, and I love sharing him with people. And I do remember when he came in, he was such a little guy, he could just perch right on my shoulder. And now I couldn't pick him